What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your own drum kits, sample kits. A few of you guys have been asking me to do it, so I'm going to make a full comprehensive tutorial on how to do that, and I'll show you guys how to organize the sounds in a folder so you can start selling them on your website or on your beat store. So we're going to dive straight into it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and if you want to learn how to sell your beats on Instagram using a 6-step process that goes from finding artists, pitching your beats to them, and actually closing the deal, hit the link in my description and get started with that. And yeah, let's dive straight into the video. Okay guys, so we are in FL Studio. Now for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to go through sort of like the main sounds that you'd want to put in a drum kit. So I'm just going to go through like the clap, snare, hi-hat, kick, 808. I'm just going to go through like some of the things that I do to them, and then show you guys how to organize that in folders that makes it, you know, a legit drum kit. So firstly, I'm going to just use this standard sort of trap clap that everyone uses at the moment. This one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to copy and paste that sound into another folder and then claim it's mine. All I'm going to do is open it up into the pattern maker. Now normally you can just open this up in Edison and do a few things to it, but I like to do a couple of things before I do that. First thing I like to do, and you don't have to do this, this is just sort of like a pre sort of thing that I do with a lot of my sounds that I edit, is I mess around with out knob down here. So if you go into your pattern maker, open up this window by just clicking on the sound and play around with the out knob. If you see the sample, it kind of reduces the volume towards the end of the sample, and it just makes it sound a bit more crisp. So when you play it beforehand and afterwards, it's a lot shorter. Obviously I'm not going to do it all the way, you know, all the way fully turned up. I'm just going to play with the sound until I think it sounds good. That sounds a bit crisper to me, so I like how that sounds. Then you can go in and head over to the master and start adding effects to it. I like to maybe add some kind of reverb to it, like that. You know, you can play around with the reverb, get rid of some of the low end, the high end, room size. Sounds a bit better. Sounds more realistic. Other things you can do to it is add a bit of distortion. You know, there's paid plugins. There's a free plugin actually called Camel Crusher that's got a really nice distortion sound to it, and that sounds like this. Okay, it just makes it sound a lot, you know, crisper and harder. Now, to be honest, I'm quite happy with that sample. So what I'm going to do is open up Edison on the master channel, click, make sure on input is highlighted, record. Okay, and that's just going to record that sample in there. Next, the only thing you need to do after that is just clean up some of the dead space. So you're just going to go in, find where the sample starts, highlight it, delete, okay, and there's my sample. When you're happy with the sample, head over to this little save icon, save sample as, and then this is where you're going to organize them into a folder that you want to, you know, put them into a full drum kit of. So just for the tutorial, I'm going to head over to the desktop, but you know, find a good place to put all your folders. Make a new folder called kits or something like that. Then I'm going to make another folder and name the actual drum kit. So just to say for the video, I'm going to call it llb. And then because that sample was a clap, obviously you're going to make a clap folder. Open that folder up, and then just give it like a realistic name. So it was quite a hard clap, so I just put like hard trap clap, something like that, and then just hit save and it is good to go. Okay, so that's what I'd sort of do with my claps. You know, there's tons of things you can do to them. I'm just giving you a few things, you know, that I personally would do to them. There's a ton of other things. You can add delay to it that gives it like an echo sound. You can add more distortion. You can add you know, like a chorus sound to it. It's totally up to you. Whatever you think sounds awesome, do that, and then that's going to make your sounds unique to you, and more people are more likely to invest in that. Okay, so I'm going to move it over to the snare sound. Now I'm just going to find a standard snare. Okay, I like this snare, so I'm just going to I'm going to again just drop it into the pattern maker. You know, just play it a little bit. Head over to the master and then just start adding some more effects to it. So it depends on whatever you want to do to the sound. So for me, I think the low end's not very great on this, so it could be a bit of a thicker sounding snare. So I'm going to play with some of the frequencies. That sounds a bit crisper and a bit sharper. Yeah, I like that. Okay, that's sounding okay already. I don't want to make this too similar to the original sound, so what I'm going to do is just add some kind of, I don't know, exciter to the sound. It's important that you just sort of make each sound fairly unique to what you want it to sound like. It's no good to just, you know, pulling a sound from a drum kit, copy and pasting it over to another kit, and then be done with it. It's not really a good way of doing it. Yeah, I'm going to play this, so... Okay, happy with that. Again, head over to Edison, obviously delete this clap, it's already saved into a folder. Then you're just going to make sure that the input is selected, click record, and there's your next sample. Again, clean up the dead space, so you have got a proper sample. Good, there's our snare. Good. Now, again, save sample as. Head over to your drum kit folder that you've just made. Make a new folder called snare. Whack that in there. Put something that sounds like a fairly crisp kind of snare. So I'm just going to put crisp. Good. There's another sample. So next thing I'll do, I'm going to do the kick in the 808. I'm going to lay this kick up. So I'm going to make a real thick, punchy kick for this one. Yeah, that's good. It's got a real thumpy low end, and the high end's just got a little bit in there as well. So I'm going to add that. Stack them on top of each other, hit play. Okay, it sounds okay, but what I can do to you know, separate the frequencies a little bit is if you open up one of the sounds and click this reverse polarity, that kind of flips the polarity of the sample, which just means that the frequencies are, you know, they sit nicely together. So hit that, hit play. Okay, that hits a lot nicer, it's a lot sort of harder. Okay, now with the kick, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's a lower frequency, so you want to add a few different effects to it. You know, a distortion might sort of kill the quality of the sound. So I'm just going to play with this EQ first. Okay, that sounds alright to me. Another thing that I might do is add a tiny bit of compression. Basically what I'm going to do is take the peak away from it and let it sit with the sub, and a bit easy for me to show you. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the limiter. Click this compression knob here, add the ratio of about, you know, around 3, a ratio of 3 to 1. And then when you play, you're going to see the sample. So if you see this little peak, it kind of sits above the you know, the main part of the bulk of the sample. So what I'm going to do is kind of squish that down to the same level as the rest of the sample, bring the whole sound back up to the original level, and it'll sound a lot thicker. So, and then you're just going to bring this threshold knob down so it's sitting on top of the main sort of meat of the sample. Okay, so when you hit play, this little white line here is where it's compressing. Okay, good. Now you can play with this curve knob, you can sort of smoothen out the compression a little bit. Play with the release knob, bring that right down so it's compressing properly. Up there, that looks good. And then once you've done that, you're just going to bring this gain knob back to the original level. Okay, that sounds good. So we've gone from a kick sounding like this to this. Okay, not a huge, massive amount of difference, but again, it's a unique sound. We've layered 2 kicks on top of each other, we've EQ'd them, you know, we've played around with some compression. You can add a few more effects if you want to, but with the kick, you don't want to add too much reverb, delay, all that kind of stuff. It will, you know, just sort of take away from the, you know, the impact of the kick. So yeah, that sounds good to me. Again, head over to your Edison, delete the sample that's in there, record. Good, there's my kick. Again, get rid of some of that dead space, delete. Good. Okay, good. Now again, save it into the folder that you've just made. So make a kick folder, kick. Just put something like, I don't know, again name it something relative to the sound. So I'll call this one like a snappy kick, something like that. Good. Okay, and then again do the same thing for the 808. So find a sound that you're happy with, something that's popular, something that's going to catch people's attention. So I am going to use you know, that short Pierre kind of 808 that everyone seems to be using at the moment. That one. Okay, start playing around with some of the sounds. Now with 808s you can do quite a bit to them, so first thing I'm going to do is EQ it. So I'm just going to play around with this built-in EQ. Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to normalize this sound just because it's kind of quiet. I want the whole sound to be loud. That's better. I'm going to maybe add some distortion again. Get this Camel Crusher plugin, it's amazing, it's free. You've got some compression and distortion that you can add with this plugin. So I'm just going to play around with some of that. Nice. Maybe a wave shaper. This is kind of good for sort of just bulking out the sound. Good, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that already, so I don't really want to do too much to it. Again, you've got to find that balance of adding effects to it, making it unique, but not overdoing it and just killing the sound completely. So I'm super happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and get this recorded. Good, and there is my sample. Boom. And that is, you know, literally all I do to it. Again, you want to spend a bit of time doing this, you know, getting yourself like 10 or 12 808s, same with the claps, same with the snares, you know, getting a good collection of sounds and just making more of a full product for people to buy. There are a few other things that you can do with it in terms of making a product box for it, making it look professional, and then uploading it to your website. So if you guys want me to make a tutorial on how to make a product box for drum kits, sample kits, or anything like that, then just leave a comment down below or something just telling me to do that, and I'll get around to it as soon as possible. But in terms of making a drum kit, that is normally how I'd go about doing it. You know, just adding sounds to the pattern maker, adding some effects, and just going from there with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you guys want to learn how to sell beats on Instagram using a 6-step process, make sure you go ahead and smack the link in my description and jump straight on that, because there is some gems in that little ebook. And yeah, that's all for today, people. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, and I will see you next time.